I went into that garden just after 6 on the 20th of May, 2020, to thank groups of staff before going back into my office 25 minutes later to continue working. I believed implicitly that this was a work event.
So Boris never knew that it was a party. He thought it was a work event. Now then, for those who didn't bring their own bottles, there was red, white and rosé wine, as well as bottles of gin. We are then told Carrie Johnson shared a drink with a close friend at the illegal Downing Street garden party, where 40 people, including the PM for 25 minutes, washed down sausage rolls and posh crisps with wine and gin, while some guest feed being filmed breaking lockdown from the sky. So once again, he didn't know it was a party. He legitimately thought it was a work event. A work event! Now, I don't know about you, but in the places where I've worked, if I'd have been walking around with a open bottle of wine in hand and a glass in the other, yeah, fucking 3 sheets to the wind, I'd have been out the door. It'd have been suspension, disciplinary, and then firing. Work event. Is he fucking mad? Is he absolutely tonto for us to think the people of Great Britain are going to believe this? You know, from day one, the lockdown didn't make sense, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that, or any kind of medical professional. I'm not offering medical advice. I'm not telling people to do things or not do things. Just a little disclaimer for YouTube, right? But the lockdowns did not make sense, right? You only had to think about it to know that it didn't make sense. Yeah? Now, I appreciate not everyone is in the same position. I'm not well off, I'm not rich by any means. But thankfully, for the part of the country that I am in, where I lived at the time in 2020 when it all went to shit during the Great Panic, where I lived, there was 2 bits of wasteland that was used only by dog walkers. Yeah? There was Alexandra Park 10 minutes to the left of me. There was Glodick Laws 10 minutes going north of me. And I had Snipe Clough 10 minutes to the right of me. So that's over 4 areas of land that are very, very large. And yet I was told, the government told me, if I go out more than once a day, I'm going to die. Or I'm going to kill people. When there was no way in heaven I was anywhere near other people. Yeah? Don't forget, this is the lockdown part 1 where fucking idiots couldn't think for themselves. They're still not doing, let's be honest. But they were, the kind of idiots of how many times can I walk my dog? Like what? Because the government said you're only allowed out for specific things, and these are the fucking retardos who had to fucking be told, no, you can walk your dogs as many times as you want. You don't have to choose between walking your dog and exercising, or exercising and going buying food. Only a complete fuckwit needs to be told otherwise. Personally, I went out whenever I needed to because I decided what was essential at that moment in time. If a fucking bar of chocolate was needed just to lift my fucking brain chemicals a bit up a touch, I went for that bar of chocolate. Yeah, I decided what was essential, not the police, not the fucking government, not scientists. Me. Why? Because I was a 40-year-old man at the time. I'm perfectly fucking conscious of making my own decisions. Yeah? The moment we lost the bus services. That's when they lost me. How can you say there's a killer pandemic going along and then cutting the buses to 1 an hour? 1 an hour. How is that safe? How is it safe to put multiple people on one bus? You're talking out your ass, Boris. If, and it's a big if it's supposed to be a work event, as he states, why is his missus there? She's not the secretary. She's not the fucking, a junior minister or whatever. It's his bloody missus. So if it's a work event, why is his missus there? Yeah? How do you, again, how do you not see all the wine? Yeah, how do you not see all the wine and go, hey, something's a bit fucking fishy here. What's going on here? Hey. Now, I don't care that he broke the rules. I care that he told me I had to follow certain rules while he just fucking dilly-dallied all fucking day long. And it's not just him. It's a lot of people in the power and who set the rules. Dominic Cummings drove a fucking car to make sure his eyes were okay. Well, if you don't hit the first fucking brick wall you see, your eyes are okay. Yeah, Matt Hancock's getting off with his fucking assistant or whatever, having affairs. Professor Ferguson, the twat who keeps getting every fucking thing wrong. Not just Rona, everything. Every prediction he has made has been disastrously wrong. Nowhere near happening. Yeah? He has an affair. But it's okay. We've had this is what, 12 parties now? Going back from Christmas last year right into lockdown 1. Yeah? Now, I know not everyone followed the rules anyway. I lived where I lived at the time. You had certain sections of the community who we were told time and time again most at risk. They were constantly not listening to the rules, even though it affected that community most. And fair play to them. They weren't, to them, when it's time, and that's fine. But, I can be accused of many things. I'm a cunt, I'm a twat. I'm not always the best of people. But when it comes to the Rona, I can be proud and say I was not a hypocrite. And that's a very silly thing to be proud of, not being a hypocrite. But there were far too many hypocrites, just like the Prime Minister, just like the MPs who broke the rules. During the height of campaigning, there was Labour people. During the height of lockdown, there was Labour people going round door to door campaigning. Yet Labour jump on the bandwagon of naughty Prime Minister, naughty, naughty. No, your lot were just as bad. This time last year, we had an MP going to Royton, even though it's not part of her patch, so she could have a photo opportunity with healthcare professionals who were doing vaccinations. Yeah, so I don't like the hypocrisy of it all. My Facebook feed at the beginning was ridiculous. It was full of people doing silly memes like 6 feet under or 6 feet apart and all that bollocks. Yeah, there was people on my Facebook who were telling you, no, don't even order off Amazon because you're putting people at risk. Yeah, there were people begging and pleading for the lockdowns who within months were tired of it. And the reason they were tired of it, or a small part of it, is they thought it was 3 weeks off work, full pay, do my jobs, paint the house, fucking do the gardening, whatever, back to work. That's what a lot of people thought. But anyone with a hint of hindsight would have known that's not what it is. That was not what was going to happen. Well, you've got what you wanted. You got locked down. You weren't allowed to see your families if you followed the rules. Which, let's be honest, unless your loved ones were in care homes, you still should have been going to see them. Yeah, that's on you, unless they were in care homes. That's not a nice thing to say, perhaps. It's not a good thing to hear, but it was on you. You could still gone to your grandparents, even if you did the talking through the window bollocks. Yeah, you could have still gone and seen them. You just didn't. You just weren't allowed to hug them. That was it. You know, stand offset from them, whatever. But if you didn't go see your parents, your loved ones, that's on you. And I know you've regretted that ever since. So it must be awful. It must be awful for those who did follow the rules to find out that consistently, this isn't a one off occasion anymore. Consistently, the rules have been broken by those that set them. And the worst offenders of this, the very worst, it's not normal people who ignored it, who thought about it and decided this is bollocks. It's not the Prime Minister who set the rules, it's not his cabinet, it's not the scientists. One of the worst offenders has to be the press. Because for a long time now, the press has done nothing but terrify us, or try to. Not just about the Rona. Just look back. Every year the NHS is in crisis at Christmas. You can find through newspapers, in the height of summer, they're trying to terrify you that there's a fucking great Arctic fucking winter blast just round the corner at the height of summer. You know, they're always promising you the next worst thing. Every bit of fucking rain now is a storm. Now, the part of the country I live in is very hilly, very wet. Nothing to do with climate change. It's just the way it is. But we're constantly told every bit of rain, every bit of wind is a fucking storm. We fall to bits on a centimetre of snow. Nay, a millimetre. And the country grinds to a halt. Meanwhile, Canada, America, fucking Norway, Iceland, the rest of Europe, anywhere with actual considerable snow is laughing at us. And that's all we've been bred now, is to be terrified of the next thing. If it's not the Rona, it's climate change. If it's not climate change, it's fucking ISIS just waiting on every corner ready to kill us. You know, if you're black, it's fucking white cops who are apparently going to kill you at every opportunity, which is bollocks. You know, we are conditioned to be terrified now. And it's thankfully that a lot of people see through the bullshit. But unfortunately, there's far, far too many that believe the hype, that believe the fear. You know, we've had it already. We had it once before now with Brexit. Now we've got it with the Rona. The whole of South African medicine was telling us, don't freak out. It's not a big deal. Omicron's not a big deal. You know, it might sound like a Decepticon, but it's not a big deal. Boris, panic button. Fucking big red button that must say, press here for the slightest thing. And that's what he did. He tried pressing the button. And thankfully, his own MPs and the Lib Dems, who'd have thought that, the Lib Dems said, no, enough's enough. Now, we're in a position where Boris at some point has to go. I didn't vote for Boris, but I believed him. I believed his bullshit when he was campaigning to be Prime Minister. I believed he was going to transform the North. I believed he was going to improve infrastructure and all these bullshit promises. Unlike a lot of people, I now feel like a tit. You know? Anyway, I'm going to go because I don't really often do political videos, but this I just needed to say, fuck off, Boris, you cunt. Oh, and just as a quick PS, You should have known how stupid and bad it was going to get at the very beginning, when it was very easy to read the Coronavirus Act. It laid down all the nasty, dirty little things the government was going to do in the event that it got too bad. Yeah, there was a big thing a while back about old people being left to die. Well, in the Coronavirus Act of 2020, it said that priority would be given to those who are most likely to recover. So it said that old people were going to be left to die. There was a whole DNR things for disabled people that came about summer last year. Either summer last year or summer 2021. Well, if you read the Coronavirus Act, it told you everything. It still tells you everything the government is prepared to do if they have to or feel they need to. So you should stop fucking blaming when it happens, and you should have read it yourselves instead of shitting yourselves and fucking closing all your windows because you thought it was going to come and get at you through your door and your windows. And you should have just read what the government wanted, because it's all on you. Anyway, once again, fuck off, Boris.